What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to the BitLab Academy Chart Watch Daily Jumpstart. Is Bitcoin about to break down or is it about to explode? Let's jump right on into it for this brief rundown of the charts I'm looking at this morning. First things first, looking here at this chart. This gets a little bit exciting and it's a little bit scary. This chart's from Stock Money Lizards, and we can see this logarithmic growth curve here, and we see that we're right here at the bottom. But we also see that the essentially the RSI is down very low, lower than it's been in the past two cycle lows when the price action was coming anywhere near testing any sort of bottom of the range. Is this suggesting we're about to explode to the upside? I don't know, because we also have war, global conflict going on right now, and who knows how that's going to affect the markets. Markets are being a little funny right now, so we need to be paying attention to that and managing our risk. We can layer some things in, but we need to do it with a longer term mindset and not be trying to take every long opportunity that's there. This does suggest, though, that we are coming somewhere regionally on a time frame basis into a zone that we could be seeing some explosive upside soon. I think it's still going to be a few weeks at minimum out before we start pushing up. So we want to manage our risk here. Coming over here to the next chart, I just want to point this out. This basically ties into what I was just saying. Global conflict right now, everybody's very uncertain in markets about where the markets are going. Traditional finance, risk assets, everything. We can see right here, investors aren't positioned for a rally. This is on broader markets outside of crypto. Remember, this is going to be a good metric for us to understand what the risk narrative is. Now, the question here is going to be, when do we get that flippening of this risk narrative within Bitcoin? Meaning, when do people actually look at Bitcoin as a flight to safety rather than a risk asset? Now, I think it's already starting to happen with some players, but again, as I spoke about yesterday, we want to basically forecast when that's going to be a majority play, not a minority play. And in this case, we could see CTAs are short minus 47 billion of equities after selling 88 billion over the last 15 sessions. This is the largest US short position for this cohort on record, meaning people are betting on market going down. Now, the question here is, a lot of times markets like to do what's going to cause the max pain. So if everybody's short, are we going to see a rally? Either way, the markets are looking weak when we look at NASDAQ and Dow Jones and the S&P 500. Yes, we're getting small rallies, but we want to see when we're breaking past previous range lows, and especially if we're going to put in a new lower high. In this case, markets are not looking strong at the moment. And we're also, as I mentioned, this global conflict really gives you pause. If anything, I just hope everybody don't be scared out of the market, but be careful about the positions you're taking if you're going long. Practice healthy risk management, use stop losses, and also hedge yourself by not, one, trading your entire portfolio. Do a smaller allocation, a trading portfolio, and also make sure that you're understanding what your strategy is, what your time horizon is, and play to your strengths there. That's why strategy is so important. Then we can look over here on the bullish note. We can pull up this chart and we can see that the monthly moving average ribbon turned green on this indicator, on this chart from MAGS. And we can see here that we had basically a breakdown period here, and this flipped red with the price action under it. This is flipped back above it. It's found support a few times. We're sitting on top of the moving average ribbon, and it wants to give you some bullish incentive, some bullish hope. But again, I'm asking each and every one of you to do the number one thing that can protect your assets and also help you stay consistently profitable in the space, and that is to find patience. Okay? You don't need to catch the absolute bottom of a move. There's a higher likelihood right now that the price action will either chop sideways or go down than just randomly rallying in the face of all this uncertainty in the market. So while this does look bullish, I say approach with caution. Now, looking at this chart right here from Caleb Franzen, Ethereum, we talk about Bitcoin a lot, but Ethereum's looking at this. Ethereum is getting weaker within this support zone. And we have two different trend lines here, one from this wick up to this candle body, and one from this wick to this wick on the bottom of this pull down here. Gives us two sort of zones, and we've been trading within this zone. What does Bitcoin and Ethereum look like today? Well, look at Bitcoin on the 2 hour. We kind of broke down overnight, lost this level a little bit, finding resistance here in the 20 moving average, which is here on the BitLab intelligence, part of the BitLab trading stack, finding resistance in this zone. What does Ethereum look like? Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum also similarly starting to break down. We want to pay attention. Look at this. Came all the way up to the weekly VWAP. Got rejected right about where the trend signal line is too. This darker line right here. Pushed all the way into this dynamic resistance zone and getting rejected back down. And now we're back below the 20 moving average here. We're looking at the 2-hour chart. What does it look like on the daily chart? Man, daily chart, we've been doing some work to the downside. Now look at this. We do have the support zone below us with this order block, high liquidity zone of interest. These tend to act like magnets for price action to come back and test these areas of liquidity to really fulfill some of that interest. I don't mean interest like monetary policy. I mean like speculators, traders, investors' interest in this zone. So we flushed all the way down here. Bulls bought it back up. Now we're riding right on top of this. Are we going to see a test back down to 1545 and more importantly, down to the lower 1500s, 1530, 1535? We're going to want to watch that area. If we do lose it, it could spell some trouble for Ethereum. Looking at Bitcoin in the same time frame, looking at it here on the daily, pushing up into basically bearish order block zone here with liquidity interest, and we're getting lower highs. The question is, are we going to break this low right here? This low right here is roughly right about 27,337. If we lose this level, it's likely we're coming down into this order block liquidity zone down here into the 26,800. Now everything is still somewhat bullish in this framework so long as we stay above this trend line right here. And you can see if we were to break down and test this, and we talked about yesterday on, actually we didn't talk about it yesterday. That was on another video. On the price action, if this does come down, if this gets a little bit further down, we're starting to get to the territory where we're testing the low side of this range. We want to maintain higher lows if we're expecting this to continue to the upside. So there's a little bit of caution here. We got an M top right here, which essentially is saying that the momentum tried, it failed. The momentum tried again, got a lower high, so less bullish momentum, and then testing to the downside here. If we lose this level, it's further confirmation. We probably continue working our way back down into this zone over here. So we got to be cautious. We have to trade with care. Looking at this next chart right here, again, we're getting bullish and bearish signals here. This is why this is the key thesis of uncertainty. There's bulls, there's bears. This signal right here shows we should absolutely be exploding up from here. Look at what happened the last time. We can see this stochastic RSI crossover right here. We got a little bit of a pump right here. Lower high failed. We got, look at this, bullish divergence. A low, lower low, low, higher low. Bullish divergence, meaning underlying data, underlying pressures are suggesting that this was going to be a strong bounce. And look at this trend line that comes across here that we bounced perfectly on. We got the crossover again here and the price moonshot. Is Bitcoin ready to moonshot? Well, let's look again right here. We only got one. Are we going to get two this time? Not all fractals are going to play out exactly as before, but this is not yet the same construction as this was here. Now, given we had a black swan here with the global economic shutdown, as it stands right now, look at this. We've come down and tested it, which is very similar here. We had the 1, 2, and this is very different makeup in terms of how the stochastic RSIs are in this chart. Is this going to push up? Well, currently we're still seeing so much macro uncertainty and the lack of follow through from the bulls. Don't worry about missing a percent or 2% or 3%. Worry about not losing your butt on trades because you're just aping in every time you see some chart that says we're about to go up. Now, the setup is here. We're still completely on track for an incredible bull market in 2024 into 2025. But we're not yet to that halving. So again, let's look at patience right now. Let's ask ourselves what we can do to protect our assets and take well-considered trades. And any trade you're taking right now, it would benefit you more to lean into position trades at the time for the time being, especially if you're not an experienced trader, so that you can be in position once we get to that halving and take advantage of the parabolic uptrend that will likely start after that. Now, looking at this chart right here from the Bird Nest from the crypto burb, Adrian, we can see, look at the price action and where it is with this 200-day trend. See this, once we break through it, we found it as support all the way up, lost it, bear market all the way down. Once we broke back through it, all the way up to this again, and then we get the consolidation. This is a halving right here. This is a halving right here. See the two different compositions of where price action is in relationship to this 200-day trend line. Now, where are we at right now? Well, this is suggesting by his chart, and this is his chart, not mine, that somewhere around best week is roughly around, no, it's right here. The best day is roughly around October 28th. We'll have to mark that and see if that's something that maybe that's a changing of the trend, maybe a starting of a follow through of bulls. But we have a lot of geopolitical tensions right now, and everybody's wondering what shoe's going to drop next. So let's be cautious here. Just as we were cautious here, look at all this consolidation. We have a pump up, but then again, consolidation. Doesn't cost you anything to be patient and not get traded out and chopped out of this zone right here, because you're trying to trade everything and you're losing capital, so you can't take the most benefit of all this upside. It's okay to be a little bit patient, wait for a little bit of confirmation. We find support on this line. Maybe you're still scared. Push up, find support on this line again, and then on the way up here, it's okay. At least you didn't get chopped out and all here. Now, I'm not saying don't trade. I'm not saying don't scalp trade. I'm not saying don't swing trade. I'm saying if you're going to do it smart. Do it with the strategy. Do it with risk management. And do it with the understanding of what your time horizon is. So last chart here, we just looked at that. Last thing I want to point out here is the whales are buying. The mid and large size wallets have stacked up around 71,155 Bitcoin in the last 6 weeks. Now, this is leading up to the conflict. This article was posted a couple days before the conflict erupted on center stage on the globe. So it's going to be interesting to see over the next couple days, over the next week or so, is there going to be any offloading, or is there going to be any sort of considered pressure to the downside to shake people out, and we start seeing these whales and sharks scooping up that cheap Bitcoin? Point is, with all this, charts are setting up, showing that we are in a good buy zone if you have a long time horizon trade mindset. If you're scalping, scalp, but do it with healthy risk management. Do it smart. And I'll see all of you at the BitLab Academy daily stream at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Make sure, if you haven't yet, that you go over and check out bitlabacademy.com, which is, hold on right here. Make sure you check out bitlabacademy.com. Learn how to break down all these charts. Learn how to understand what the charts are telling you about the narrative of bulls and the bears, so that you can be in the best position. Make sure you follow BitLab Academy here at Academy BitLab. Make sure you're watching at, sorry about that. Make sure you're watching at youtube.com/@BitLab Academy, and give me a follow at Kelly Kellam. With that, I love you all. I appreciate you all. I'll see you at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Adios.